Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready. Father, use my voice to help those who do not understand to understand as your voice. In the name of Yeshua, amen. So, I've been in Jeremiah, and let me just read these scriptures. Jeremiah 33:8, I will cleanse them from all their iniquities by which they have sinned against me and by which they have transgressed against me. And Proverbs 28:13, whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. Man, listen. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Jeremiah, and that was what I wrote. And I went all the way to like 40, 44, 45. And it doesn't get any better. Listen, it does not get no better when the Most High is like, listen, do it this way. And people are so afraid of what they see that they want to do it their way. And then like they end up in a situation. And again, I'm reading this and I'm comparing what he's doing with them with what he's doing with me and how similar I am with the kickback. And, nobody's perfect, right? Nobody is perfect. And yesterday was my grandson's like birthday party, right? My son, he's 19, and me and my son have went through like a lot of stuff, shows up with his pregnant girlfriend. She is 6 months pregnant, first time ever meeting her. And I know they didn't talk bad about me. My son has. I'm the worst, baby, whatever it is. Kids do it. I did it. And when I see her, I'm just kind of like, it's nice to meet you, but I wish we could have met on different circumstances. Because my son is like, and he didn't tell me this. He was like, oh, we've been together for a month. And then like she's pregnant and he tells me 6 months later. But like, just sit there and talk to her. Like, we'll get to know each other. And obviously she's going to have my grandson. And it's crazy because like a year ago, I'm telling the Most High, like, I want to have a kid, right? I want to have a kid so bad. I just want a little baby boy. My daughter has a son. He's a year old. My son has a son. He will be a year old. And now my baby son is going to have a son, and he will be born like May 11th or 12th, whatever. But I thought about it, like, instead of being mad at like my son or the situation, what would it do for me to sit here and make this girl feel some type of way? And I don't know if you get it, and it might not be a big thing to you, but like harboring some like negative actions, some choices, some feelings, some emotions would have me moving a different way. We'll talk about me because I know me and I don't know you. But I'm listening to Jeremiah, and when the Lord says, I will cleanse them from all their iniquities by which they have sinned against me and by which they have transgressed against me, it got me to looking down definitions, because you know how that goes. Iniquities, immoral or grossly unfair behavior. Behavior is the way in which one acts or conducts oneself, especially towards others. Now, mind you, I know my son's been running his mouth. And they invited me to a baby shower. I'm not going to this baby shower. There's no way. I know me, right? And what happened was my son's dad killed himself like 3 years ago. And when he did that, my son was already staying with his aunt and uncle because COVID had happened and they had in-person school. His dad was on drugs. And Elijah stayed out there with his aunt and uncle, and I didn't think it was going to be a problem. They're like, hey, do you mind if we have guardianship so we can make decisions? Whatever. Elijah's like 17. And it was okay with that. Then it turned into like, we adopt your kid, we're coming for your other kid. Like, hold up, like I was some unfit mother. Like, hold up. And this really had me like feeling some type of way because their dad just died. And then now I got to go to court and fight these people because I was cool with Elijah. Like, okay, whatever. You know, nobody ever wanted to help me with Elijah when he was younger, whatever it was. And now they're trying to come and take my other child and say that I'm an unfit mother. They don't like the way that I live, but they don't know nothing about me. And like, I am super bad. And Elijah going with it. And then when Elijah goes with it, it's like, he's not held accountable for anything. And he's my first child to have like a teen pregnancy. This kid's like 19. I don't care. You could say like, that's an adult. That's not no adult. If you're not on your own, you're not handling business, you're not being responsible, you can't maintain the basics, you really ain't no adult. I don't care what age you are. You living at somebody else's house and you don't have your own, you're not adulting. That's not it. But I'm thinking about these things because I'm sitting there and I'm around my family, like, you know, I got a problem with cussing, so I'm telling stories, I'm cussing, I'm like, and I call my son nigga all the time, like, that's his name. Like, nigga, you know. Like, and I'm like, and it's like, this little girl, white, like, just, you know, nothing like us, right? And I thought about it, I was like, God, you think they're going to judge me like because I was cussing? And he's like, well, you really shouldn't be because I'm trying to use your mouth for blessings. And this is something you has to be cleansed. Like it's some pain somewhere still in there that makes you talk like this. But I'm proud of you for moving like this. I'm proud of you for not having a cold shoulder, not having an attitude, not holding no type of resentment or judgment. And well, transgressed is to infringe or go beyond the bounds of a moral principle or other established standard of behavior. You're supposed to treat people right. Did nobody do nothing to me? You know, but these are, like, I'm a mother. Who do I talk to? You know, like, and what are we going to say? Oh, girl, you know, it's nothing. It's kids. No, it's not. I had my first kid at 15 and I raised 3 kids to not have kids until they had like basically lived their life. I mean, with the exception of my son, he was like 20, but he was living in Japan. He was in the Air Force. He's adulting. He's established. It's a whole different story. But Elijah's not like that. Right? But in Proverbs 28, it says, whoever conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will obtain mercy. I'm talking to the Most High about this. Like, you know, we're talking about it. And I also felt good because I'm at a party and like, I want to continue like to have a good time. Wasn't no drinking. It didn't need to be any of that. I don't need nothing to get me turned. I can stay turned. So I'm talking to my cousin and I'm like, she's like, I'm single. I want to get out here. And I'm like, oh, I want to get out here too. And we make plans to go out and I come home and I started looking at what this club looked like. And then I'm like, I don't want to go back to that. So when he says that he will cleanse you from all your iniquities, and you know, like that's grossly unfair behavior, he ain't lying. By which they have sinned against me. You don't understand, like I have built up, you know, ideals in my head of what I want and how things should work out for me. And it's not really like that for the Most High. But thinking about it, like I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the club and I'm like, I don't want to be around all of that. Like, that's not me no more. And then I'm looking in the mirror and I have like eyeliner and lipstick on. And I'm like, I'm too old for this. But I get to come to the Most High and tell him like I'm feeling some type of way. I probably wanted some attention or something. And he said and whoever conceals his transgressions. And it's not like I'm going beyond some moral principle by going out, but his standard for me. Like if I took you out of that, like don't go back to it because you were feeling some type of way here and you don't know how to navigate how you were feeling with your son and his girlfriend or his baby mama. And, now you want to go out and no, get in my face. We're still cleansing. And a cleanse is to make clean. The intransitive verb says to engage in or undergo a cleanse to remove toxins from the body. It's a whole process that happens. So even like mentally, like going back and thinking, do I need to monitor my mouth? Yes. And then thinking like, am I completely removed from things of the world? I'm going to say yes. Because even though I wanted to, I was begging the Lord, like my cousin was supposed to call me so we could go. And I had like 4 hours, right? The time to go out and my bedtime conflicted with each other. So I needed to be in bed. And I'm just like, God, I'm so serious. I really don't even want to go, but I don't want to like let her down. Like I'll go with her, but it's, I don't like going out when it's cold, right? This process of cleansing and, just being forgiven for missing the mark and having his mercy is an amazing thing because no one's going to understand this. No one's going to understand you like him. And I heard somebody say something today where it's like when Yeshua was in the garden and he was praying and he's like, not my will, but your will. He said, you don't understand. Sometimes you got to fight you. You got to fight the flesh. The enemy doesn't know what your flesh knows. Your flesh and your spirit, like this is the separation. Like I have to separate from my flesh and walk in my spirit because my flesh will like want to have me do some things, but my flesh will also be like, it's too cold. It's a whole, like, it's worth it. It's worth it. And I'm just telling you stories about my life because, like I said, I don't know you, I know me. And I just want you to get to a spot where, you love the Lord. You love the Most High with your mind, body, soul, and you want to be used for his purpose. And whatever the devil has done, you want to squash that and go forward and just lay it down because you know how powerful the Most High is. And you know he doesn't play about you. And no matter what it is, he's willing to work it out. Holla at God.